Hello there, and welcome to day number 86 on the road to 2000 ELO Rapid Series. We're playing with the white pieces in this one against the 1738, and against the Sicilian defense, we'll go with knight f3 here, and this d6 setup. So let's go d4, and I'm anticipating e5. Okay, not an early e5, so we're playing this sort of open Sicilian, and it turns out to be a Najdorf with the a6. I don't really know this very well at all. I know it's a Najdorf because of the name on chess.com showing. Let's go with bishop g5 here. I feel like this might be a move. I can't really think of any concrete ideas to start. I know that I can always slide my knight back to b3 if necessary. I want to keep this pawn protected with this knight here. Yeah, let's just see what we're working with. Okay, so now e6, e6. I'm already thinking of ideas of castling queenside maybe, and then trying to go for this. Let's think about this one a tiny bit. Yeah, let's go queen d2. I don't see why not. Let's go queen d2. I'm gonna try to castle queenside, bring my knight back to f3, and then push on e5. Long-term idea, obviously. I don't think my opponent's just gonna simply let me do that. Now, knight takes is not a threat because knight takes back, and this bishop is double defended. We can just castle queenside, I think. We gotta watch out. The queen and king are on the same diagonal. But, this looks okay so far. Can anticipate e5 at some point, pushing my knight out. Maybe a pawn break is gonna be attempted. In which case, we're not too worried. You can probably push e5 if d5 ever happens. Gotta choose where I want my light squared bishop to be. Okay, now h5 comes in. Do I want to make this trade? I don't think so. I'm gonna keep my dark squared bishop on the board here. And we can maybe eye a potential weakness on d6. It doesn't work right now because this comes with a fork. So, and bishop e3 just looks a little slow. So the question is, do I want to allow g5 and put my bishop onto g3 instead? I think that's probably what I'll do. This keeps the pin. Oh, but now knight here is an idea, actually. Ooh, maybe I should have not done that. Let's think about this. Knight takes. I might just drop a pawn here. Bishop takes. Knight takes. Bishop takes. Yeah, I think I dropped a pawn here. Yeah, okay. Maybe a mistake by me. We can course correct if our opponent doesn't take right away on e4 by playing something like f3 here. Or maybe even g3, keeping the bishop defended. Although the bishop is double attacked, so that doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, f3, that doesn't even change anything, though. I'd have to take. I would have to take, I think, or maybe slide my bishop onto g3. Yeah, I think bishop g3 would work if they don't take the pawn right away. I'm pretty sure they're calculating the capture, in which case we should probably do it too. So knight takes on e4. The question is, do I take the bishop or do I take the knight? If I take the bishop, oh, okay, so this, okay, never mind then. We're all good and steady. Now, there's the possibility, if I go bishop g2 right now, there's the possibility if knight takes bishop here. No, that's not a threat. We're going to want to probably move our king eventually, though. And for now, I'm just going to slide my bishop to safety on g3. We're going to have the x-ray on the king. And if ever this knight moves out of the way, I got to be wary of this threat. Although bishop f4 comes in to stop it. But then it gets a little bit messy. I mean, there's ideas of knight f2. So, I mean, moving my king to b1 as a sort of prophylaxis maneuver essentially is not a bad idea. Yeah, we got a lot of pressure on this pawn as well. That's worth noting. So, like, you know, if given an extra move, maybe we can try to play something like knight f3, opening up an avenue of attack on this pawn. Because we have, well, once this knight moves out of the way, we're going to have 3 attackers on the pawn on d6. Now, choosing the best square for the knight to go to is going to be the interesting question. Maybe knight b3, keeping the pieces fairly defensive on the king side, anticipating, you know, this pawn pressure, pawn storm rushing, also allowing me to push my f pawn later in the game. So maybe knight b3 is a move. Um, yeah, yeah. There's also a sacrifice potentially. Knight takes, probably bishop takes, and then we snatch a pawn. But I don't think the sacrifice is enough to really think about there. Okay, so we get knight b7, and probably once we move the knight, the approach is going to be pushing the pawn because I don't really see another way to defend. Where's this knight trying to go? Oh, maybe knight e5. Knight e5. So now knight f3 looks more appealing because after knight e5 we can take with a knight first and then maybe play f4. Um let's go knight f3 here. Anticipating this. If they don't play it, they simply lose a pawn, I'm pretty sure. I still gotta be wary about the bishop coming eventually onto g5. That's something to worry about. And knight f3 helps alleviate some of that pressure and concern. So that's also nice. Okay, so got pressure against the pawn. That is a good thing. Pushing doesn't help because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers, and they only have 2 defenders in this case. Also, pushing doesn't help because it simply loses a queen. So, you know, probably best not to do that if you're playing with the black pieces in this one. I think the natural move is knight e5. In which case we'd have to think up a response here. We can probably try. I'm trying to think if we can like maybe try to go for f4. Okay, so that's not what happens. All right, interesting. So now we can take, and the pawn storm's less scary if the queens are off the board, and the risk of that, the chances of the queens going off the board is higher now. After queen takes back on d6, I mean I'm expecting bishop takes. I guess the queen can slide away, but yeah, we're gonna go for this. And I guess the idea is after b4, they're gonna win the pawn on e4. So yeah, that is actually that's kind of concerning. Yeah, rook takes. I'm wondering if after b4 I have to play e5, and my concern is that after b4, if I simply okay, interesting, not what I expected. Now I can probably stay steady. We'll go rook d1 just to cover the potential fork ideas on f2. I could go rook d4, but then they just push the pawn, and then my rook has to move away anyways. Where else can I move my rook? Potentially I can move my rook. No. Yeah, let's go rook d2 here. And we might drop this pawn. I think that's okay. Although rook d2 here, right? Takes with check. So this is gonna be okay, I think. All right, they're building more and more pressure. I really think they should have gone for b4 earlier on. We'll just push here. This knight's gonna go on to g4. Okay, we're gonna drop a pawn though. Let's think about this. I could just play bishop d3. Bishop d3, b4. I'm gonna drop a pawn anyways. I might as well push. I don't know. I don't love this. If I push, and knight g4, then maybe. No, I don't see anything here. Push knight g4. I'm gonna have to drop this pawn, I think. I wonder if I have ideas of this. It doesn't look like it right now. Nice to consider, though. Okay. Bishop d3 is safest option, I think. But I'm anticipating this, and then I'm dropping this pawn. Okay, we're not dropping the pawn. Phew. Let's go rook e1 here. Or maybe I can just play a3. Let's just play a3. This is coming? Probably. Okay. Oh, it's getting scary. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go rook e1 ourselves, preparing this. Yeah, that's fine. Didn't really do anything. So we're thinking of going here. Then we can maybe make a whole bunch of trades. Bishop here. Knight there, knight there. Whoa. Okay, let's think about this. I'm probably going to take. Yeah, I'm going to take. I'm anticipating probably bishop takes. Maybe taking was bad, actually. Oh, I should have thought a little bit longer there. If bishop takes, I'm not too sure what to do. Maybe it's just slide my bishop back here. If rook takes, I'm probably playing bishop e4. Although, actually, no, bishop e4 would be terrible. I think regardless, I gotta go bishop back. Yeah, I'm gonna go bishop e2. And we're gonna try to trade more. I'm simply up a pawn right now. This is bad because after rook takes, well, actually, here rook takes, knight takes back. If knight takes, I don't want to risk it. Something gives me a bad feeling about that move. I don't know. Knight here, we trade. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Ooh. Oh, man, I completely missed that. Yeah, okay, well, I'm losing now. We'll go here so we don't lose the rook for nothing. But yeah, this is not a good situation to be in here. Potential ideas of bishop f3, but they're probably going to snatch this pawn. Okay. Got to keep pieces on the board here. Trading is not the path. So with that in mind, maybe knight b3, stopping the doubling of the rooks. But yeah, no, this is not looking great. I'm hanging a pawn as well. Yeah, I got nothing here. Man. I'm just losing another piece now. What am I doing? I'm playing badly, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, this is simple, really. This is nothing. Maybe bishop here. Actually, yeah, bishop there is not a bad move. We're still technically in the game. But I don't see it. I don't see it. They just move their king away and then they're fine. They're low on time though. We can try holding on here. Bishop here, I mean, they even have this. Yep. Okay. Well, they don't have this anymore. Rook moves. We're going to move our king. After pawn can't take right now. So we're just going to slide back here. And we are unashamedly trying to flag in this one. I could trade the rooks. I don't want to. So rook d1 is a way to trade off a pair of rooks. I don't think it's a good idea. Or maybe it can be. You never know. Although promoting is probably going to be pretty easy for them given the pawn majority on their queen side. On their king side, I guess. Always confusing in the endgame when there's like not much stuff left. What is the king side and what is the queen side? But yeah, I guess that is the king side. The more time passes, the more I actually like trading the rooks off. Because mating ideas become harder to find. So let's go for it. Or maybe I shouldn't. Well, it's hard to find moves otherwise. Let's give that a go. Okay. I'm playing knight d2. Just make them think a little bit more. We can double their pawns, that's good. It makes it harder to promote. Knight d2, f5, I probably just take. And then, well, actually, no. So we can just push here. Okay. Let's move our knight backwards, keeping things defended. We'll go bishop e2 here. Gladly take. Just keep going. We only have 27 seconds left. Okay. Move our king up. Let's keep things running. Don't mind if I drop that pawn. I'm gonna play here. And we're gonna take. Let's take with the knight. We'll keep the bishop on the board. Attack this. Here, attack that. Take. And somehow we're actually in a position where we're definitely holding a draw, even with not that much time on the clock. We can maybe even just sidestep back and forth, and it should be a win. That's unfortunate, though, for my opponent. I feel bad. We didn't deserve that, but it goes to show. I mean, I've lost countless times because of time pressure, and time pressure gets you. These 10+0 games, you got to make decisions quickly, and you got to know how to convert your advantages. I think that's one thing that I struggled with, and I think my opponent struggled with it in this game, getting an advantage and being unable to convert it in the time that was provided. Let's take a look at the analysis and see what I could have done better to avoid having to resort to the time scramble in the first place. Okay, so in this game, we got, from what I remember, a Sicilian that was an open Sicilian with this d4 move to open up the center of the board. After knight takes back on d4 here, and knight f6 is played by my opponent. Knight c3 and a6. This is the Najdorf Sicilian. I don't know this very well. I assume that a6 is generally speaking a good move because it prevents the minor pieces from going on to b5, which could potentially be ideas down the line. It's probably a pretty good square for the knight to go to from d4 after an e5 pawn push. So here, bishop g5 is actually the main move. Cool, good to see. And after e6 by my opponent, I'm supposed to play f4 here and just try to just go at it with the kingside pawns, knowing that I'm going to castle queenside. Queen d2 is also a move, and it's also a book move, apparently. Okay, hey, all right, I played chess. And now after bishop e7, I think my first mistake was, oh no, castling queenside's fine. Wow, look at me doing my thing. Now I think I made a mistake, though, because after bishop h6, I played After h6, I played bishop h4, which is not a mistake. I was considering knight takes here, but bishop takes. Okay, this is not a mistake. Bishop takes, and the reason is that after knight takes on f1, bishop. Oh, the knight's trapped. The knight is trapped. I see. Okay, so you can just go anywhere with this bishop, like c7 or b6, for example. C7 wins a pawn. You might as well. Yeah, you're gonna win the knight because the knight has no getaway squares. Very cool. Okay, got it. Anyways, so turns out I played a lot of good moves in the opening. Funnily enough, Queen c7 here by my opponent, and now I played it in accuracy. Bishop g3. Apparently, taking on f6 is one of the best moves. Or I'm surprised developing the bishop doesn't show up. It's the only piece that's not in the game just yet. Maybe bishop d3 or something. But yeah, I guess bishop d3 walks into ideas of taking the pawn, right? Knight takes e4. Yeah, that's what I saw. So here I played bishop g3 just to remove the ideas of the pawn capture on e4. And now knight bd7 by my opponent, and I tried playing knight f3 so that I could go after the pawn on d6, and here it's a mistake because they can just play e5 to shut it down. I considered d5. For some reason, e5 never came to mind, and e5 completely shuts down my ideas, and also I got some weaknesses to deal with. You know, knight h4. Knight h5, sorry, is a pretty solid move that could work well for my opponent because it attacks the bishop. It also threatens this. I don't know. So here, for example, like let's say I play a normal looking move, like developing my light square bishop, which I haven't moved yet in the game. I'm probably already in pretty big trouble. B5 comes in. Okay, and the pawn storm is rolling. Got it. Yeah, the Sicilian is scary, especially when you castle queenside, because the pawn already starts on c5, so the pressure is going to build up quickly on the queenside. Castling queenside, you need to know what you're doing. And here, I played knight f3, and I got lucky that they went right away for this b5 idea. It's probably a common idea in the Sicilian, and probably something my opponent was familiar with. I wasn't, but all I saw was that there was a pawn hanging on d6. It's important not only to know your theory and to study opening ideas, but it's also important to be able to be aware of what's happening on the board, whether things are hanging, having that board vision. And here we got a free pawn. King e7 forces the rook back out. I was thinking maybe rook d4. I didn't like rook d4 because of just simply e5. But maybe I was missing something here. Rook b4, I guess, shuts down the idea of going b4, and that was the move that was scary to me. So yeah, I guess I was missing something. Instead, I went all the way back to d2, and now b4 is very scary because you're gonna lose the defender of the knight of the pawn, and then you're also getting your rook attacked. Here, if b4 happened, I was gonna play e5, which is all right as a move, but not the best. It maintains some level of equality, which I guess I'm content with. But at the same time, black is a little bit better here, even though white is up a pawn, just because I guess this pawn ends up being weak, and black gets an avenue of attack on the b file now. So that's not what happened, though. I got lucky. Bishop b7 allows me time to consolidate. And I did it the wrong way with bishop d3. b4 still scary because there's a double attack going against the pawn. What I should have done after bishop b7 was gone rook d4 again. So stop this b4 idea. And I just didn't acknowledge that as a good move because of this e5. But I just missed rook b4 afterwards. So here, and now I'm finally fine, I think, after a3, because now my knight is going to be solid on c3 and defending the pawn on e4. Rook ac8 is the best move for my opponent. Rook e1 is the best move for me. So decent chess here, and here I had to make a decision, and I decided wrong, apparently, with the pawn push. I was thinking of trying to trade off some pieces, Um, I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what was going on in my mind here. It was scary though. That's the one thing I remember is that I was scared in this position. E5, I just didn't see the response, but they found the right move after knight takes, rook takes. Well, bishop takes is the better move. The rook takes. I went bishop e2, and this is a losing blunder by me, because of the fork. And yeah, I just missed it. I just missed it completely. What I should have done was gone king d1, step out of these ideas, but this is a nice play by my opponent. I think I missed the pin because of the knight being in the middle, intercepting the pin, but I didn't realize that the knight can come in with a check that keeps the pin going. And that's a really strong move. Now here, we have to play on. I'm down a whole piece. Or no, I'm down an exchange actually, which is not as bad as it could have been, but still not the best thing in the world. I drop a pawn on g2 as well, but we're just trying to make play, and here I'm actually playing some of the best moves. I thought I blundered, but apparently this is good. And f4 here is the best move. F4 is crazy, but it's a really nice idea because now you have the possibility of winning back a piece. I thought maybe you could even win back a rook. Bishop f3 check. But this only wins an exchange. After the king moves, bishop takes rook, bishop takes back. So you probably should go for this bishop instead of going for the rook, interestingly enough. And yeah, the engine lines do say bishop takes on g2 as the move afterwards. So I didn't see f4, but I did see an idea that also, maintains the same evaluation, bishop g4. The pin is present on the pawn on e5, so your knight's not actually in danger of being taken, unless if it's by a rook. And now you can sidestep with the king to avoid your knight being lost for nothing. And here a mistake was made, and I didn't see knight c6. No! Oh my god, I could have gotten back in the game like that. No! Oh, that's terrible. I had 3 minutes on the clock. Knight c6 would have won me back an exchange, and we would have had a game of chess where I'm just down a pawn. Instead, I tried to run away and traded rooks. I made a practical decision here, and it paid off, to be fair. To be fair, it paid off. I mean, there's nothing really much to be seen here. The main thing is the decision to try to keep my pieces on the board as long as I could, and only give them up if I'm winning a pawn to do so, in order to make the endgame harder to convert. And it just about worked. Yeah, we got the win. It's not how I like to win, but I think this was a pretty instructive game of chess. Hopefully for you all watching as well as it was for me. I think that I enjoy playing against these Sicilians. I think I got a lot to learn playing against them. And this is one I'll keep in mind for sure. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comments. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to make our way up slowly but surely to 1,000 subscribers, and if you can help out, that would be wonderful. And to those who are already subscribed, thank you so much, and thanks for all the support. I really, really do appreciate it. We're gonna work our way up. We're gonna keep this going, and the road to 2,000 is sailing on ahead. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.